Has anybody ever heard of least common multiple? Okay, so some of you might be a little bit familiar with it. So our objective says we're going to find the least common multiples by finding the multiples of two numbers, and then we're going to compare them and find the least number. So I thought an interesting way to introduce this topic to you is a short video clip. And it's about 5 minutes. So we're going to take a look at that. It's going to introduce least, is that going to be okay? Least common multiple. So I want you to pay attention to what you're learning on the video, and then we're going to have a lesson on it up on the carpet, okay? Can you see okay?
Oh.
Where's our sound? Oh.
Multiple is. A plain old multiple is what you get when you multiply.
Start it right over.
These are some multiples of the numbers 6, 10, and 15. What we want to do is figure out the least common multiple of all three. So, the LCM is the multiple that 6, 10, and 15 all have in common and has the smallest numerical value. You might notice that 60 is a multiple in all three lists, but so is 30. Because we're smart, we know that 30 is smaller than 60. And 30 is the smallest multiple they all have in common, which means 30 is the LCM of 6, 10, and 15. When you're listing multiples, the fastest way to find the least common multiple is to look at the multiples of the largest of the numbers. So, for our previous example, to find the LCM of 6, 10, and 15, 15 is the largest number. So you would look to the multiples of 15. First, try 1 times 15, or 15. 15 is not a multiple of 6 and 10, so next try 2 times 15, or 30. 30 is a multiple of both 6 and 10, as well as 15. So our number is 30.
Listing multiples, like we just did, is one way of finding the least common multiple. But there is another way to do it. Any guesses? Look in the back of the book. Nice. But no. We're going to use the prime factorization method. Let's use the same numbers, 6, 10, and 15. Now remember way back about 2 minutes ago when we found the GCF? Well, our first step here is the same. We're going to factor with tree diagrams and then give our prime numbers exponents.
I'm going to stop the movie here.
So, if we take 6,
this gets
we
on
get the
to
prime
another
factors
topic
2 times 3.
that we're not even going to talk about until a couple more weeks from now. So this just introduced you to least common multiple. Okay? So like Alice, turn the lights on, and if you could come up, being very careful of the cord, please. Come on up.
I think I already know how to do it now.
Okay. Remember, we don't sit on the beanbag during instruction. Okay, so I'm waiting for some slant listening. Sebastian, leave your book at your desk, please, and come on up. This side probably be better. Sebastian, Roger. Okay, so today, in our objective, it says we're going to find the least common multiple. One way we abbreviate that is LCM, least common multiple. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to write that down. Least, what does least mean? Wait for raised hands. Aurora, what does least mean?
Thank you, Miss Roberts. Least means less.
It means less? Okay, it means less. Do you have another idea? Okay, Charles?
Small.
It can mean smaller. What about common? Common. What does common mean? Ariana?
Thank you, Miss Roberts. I believe it means like a number that like happens most often.
No, just think of the word common, not as it relates to math necessarily. What's the word common mean? Like
common, something in common.
Something in common. So what's common mean, Cameron?
I think, thank you, Miss Roberts. I think common means like related to the word, numbers.
That is
Related.
perfect. We could just say that they're related, okay? And what's a multiple? We know that. Denise?
Thank you, Miss multiple is two numbers multiplied together to get a product.
Okay, very good. So we're going to find the least common multiple. And I'm going to show you one way to do that by using a 100 chart. Okay? Now, some of you are just so good with your multiples that you won't need to use a 100 chart. This is a strategy for you. Okay, so I'm going to put up here in the corner, one way to find least common multiples is a 100 chart. Now, I'm going to show you some other strategies too. So, if I say I want the least common multiple of 4 and 6, this is what we do. Well, the first thing we do is just start shading in or circling or starring the multiples of 4. Who can tell me the first multiple of 4? Anna?
1 times 4.
What's the multiple? It's not 1 times 4. It's
4.
It's 4. Okay. Next, Kenneth?
8.
Next, Sebastian?
Next is...
I'm going to come back to somebody that's, I'll come back to you in a minute. Aurora?
Thank you. So I was 12.
Very good. And hey, if you're going to use the 100 chart, can't you use it to help you? 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you can just know it. Okay. We're going to stop there. Well, actually, let's just do a little bit more. Okay. We don't have to go through the whole 100 chart. So then if I found the multiples of 4, what multiples do you think I'll find next? Because it asks for the least common multiple of 4 and 6. Octavia? 6. What's my first multiple of 6, Sebastian?
First multiple of 6. The first multiple of 6
Is 6. Next, Cameron?
12.
12. Oh. Next, Anna?
18.
Next, Denise?
24.
24. Let's go 1 or 2 more, Charles.
30.
Should we do another one? Christian? 36. Okay, I've got enough. I heard Kenneth whisper something when I did this. Why did you kind of...
No, because you circled 12 two times, and I thought that was the least common multiple.
No,
Why?
I think
Cameron?
it was common related to because they both are in 4s and 6.
What's in 4s and 6?
12 and 24.
Okay, so we're noticing that
They're both related.
those are related. Absolutely. Are these in common between 4 and 6? Yeah, absolutely. But we have to forget. Can't forget this first word, and this L stands for what? Ariana? Not less. Kenneth?
Least.
Least. Yes. What's the least common multiple, Rajai?
36.
Oh, I really wish you would focus up. Least common multiple, Charles.